Hello, this is Ray Edwards from LearnCopy.com, and I would like to give tribute to a copywriter and also to a resource that was very critical to my early development as a copywriter. And here am I at the web-back machine. That's the only way in which you can get a view of this site, by going to waybackmachine.com and typing in CopywritersBoard .com, and then you'll be able to go back and see what this resource was like. But of course, I'm talking here about Michel Fortin, and I'm also talking about the resource, of course, the Copywriters Board. Now, this is a view of what the board looked like 10 years ago, and this was basically the go-to resource for any copywriter who was a copywriter back then, 10 years ago. We had guys like John Carlton that would show up every now and again. We had Gary Halbert, that would peep in every now and again, and make a post. And basically anybody who was anybody as far as the copywriting industry was concerned was a part of the Michel Fortin's Copywriters Board. Now, when this thing closed down, I don't remember what year it was. Maybe was it 2008? I don't remember what the actual year was. But when this resource actually closed down, I mean, I felt basically like my right hand was chopped off. I was puzzled. I couldn't understand it, but it was a business decision that was made by Fortin at the time. But a lot of guys really missed that place. And there was another copywriter who was a part of this board who also tried to carry on the tradition, but it basically was not the same without Michel Fortin at the head. And so at the same time, I'd like to give a tribute as well to Michel Fortin, in the sense that I learned a lot from him. I followed him, ruthlessly early on. In fact, if you go to many of my websites, you will see me. I have the signature at the top. That was an idea that I got from Michel. A lot of even my copywriting coaching program as well, to the different subjects that I use for my own board as well, to was also an inspiration from from this forum as well too, that came from this forum as well too. Now, the neat thing about it is that because of Wayback Machine, it has the record of most of the discussion and stuff that took place back then. So you can even go back to this resource, click on the copywriting discussion, see the kind of discussions that the guys were involved in, at that time. And as I said, this was the go-to place for online copywriters. Here talking about how would you go about hiring Gary Halbert or John Carlton, and about you can see the development of the industry. Look at these guys that we have back then. You had Kel Calhoun. I remember Maroney as well. So I haven't seen much of him. Alan Forrest Smith as well too. That was around then. And as I said, basically, I mean, anybody. I think Andy, who is now working with Michel, I'm sure that they met. This is where they met as well too. And a lot of the information that I got that helped me early on in my career as well too. Basically, I got from Michel. I was a part of his membership site, where he did Camtasia critiques for website and so forth. And this is something that I do a lot now for my own students, and that I provide a lot of resources on Facebook and so forth. So I mean, I just want to give a shout out to Michel Fortin, and I think that he I think that he's an incredible human being. He shares his life openly on on social media. So we know that he has been through a lot of tough times, lately. And I met Michael once. I think it was in 2006 at the Arm and Mooring big seminar in Atlanta, and I met his late wife as well too, Sylvie. So I just had one opportunity to to meet Michael. So double. This video is like forming of a double purpose. Is I just want to say thanks publicly to Michael for what he has done and what he has meant to me as a copywriter and developing my own skills and the resource that he provide in the CopywritersBoard. And I'm hoping that if I get just 10% of the the value that was provided on the CopywritersBoard in my own the copywriters college Facebook group, if I can get just 10% of what took place there, I know that I would have accomplished I will accomplish a lot. So I would encourage you to, as I did a while ago, go to Wayback Machine, type in copywritersboard.com, and go back to 10 years ago, 2004, 2005, 2006. That's where they have snapshots from, and look at some of the discussions that took place back then, because it was just heavy, deep discussion. People shared people shared openly. You could ask any question. Other copywriters were, willing to help you, tell you what books to read and so forth. So a lot of my education that I got in CopywritersBoard for free. People offered value there. Copywriters offered value there. Suggested what books you could read. Basically the same kind of questions, that I asked today were freely discussed. We freely discussed there. So I recommend this resource to you. Yes, it is 10 years old, but copywriting, the principles are the same. Whether it is 1,000 years old, persuasion is basically still the same. And you get to meet, some of the guys there who are the movers and shakers in the industry, today. And so there's a lot of value that you can get still from the CopywritersBoard.